This is Bucharest, Radio Romania International. Listeners' Letterbox.
Welcome to a fresh edition in Listeners' Letterbox, one of our series entirely dedicated to you, our listeners from around the world, a radio show where we leaf through your letters, reports, suggestions and comments on our programs. As usual, and as always, we are really grateful for the feedback we get from our listeners on the 4 continents. Eugen Nasta is your host this week. The first letter we take out of the box is the one sent in by Kunihiro Yamazaki, a 64-year-old listener of our programs based in Oriasaki City, Aichi-ken, Japan. Among other things, here's what our Japanese listener wrote on our programs. Quote, I was able to listen to it in a stable state with a very strong signal. It was the first song I listened to, but it was good. In this way, it is unique to European broadcasting stations to come across songs that cannot be heard in Japan. I'm a lover of Japanese shortwave and medium wave broadcasting and enjoy broadcasting all over the world. I don't understand a lot of words other than a little English, but I enjoy it every day because I enjoy great music and news, which I think is my best hobby. I retired from work at the retirement age and my friends are on the radio every day. When I was working, I didn't have much time to listen to the radio because of the hard schedule every day. But now I have plenty of time and it's maximum fun. It is impossible to hear all the received contents, but I am glad that I managed to hear it. When I was able to receive your station's signal, the tension went up. If the content of this report is correct, the reception time will be short, but I would be grateful if you could issue your QSL card. I am looking forward to it. Thank you. The coronavirus infection has spread all over the world, and the situation is becoming more and more uneasy. But when I listen to such a wonderful song, I feel that my anxiety is cancelled out. All the staff members should be careful about coronavirus infection. Thank you for the wonderful music. End of quote. Mr. Mizanur Rahman, our 39-year-old listener in Bangladesh, Shahzadpur, the district of Sirajganj, tuned into our radio station from March the 3rd and all through to March the 7th, 2021. Mizanur's SINPO rating for the signal of our broadcast was 3 all. Mr. Rahman uses a Grundig digital receiver with a compact antenna. Our listener in Bangladesh tuned into our programs on 11.710 kHz from 0400 to 0500 hours UTC. Mr. Rahman liked the news, the commentaries on current affairs, Listeners' Letterbox, the DX Mailbag, Living Romania, Romanian traditional music, and so on. Mr. Nectarios Manousos, based in Fotenakia, Mornias, Crete, Crete Island in Greece, tuned into our radio station on March the 2nd, 2021, from 1835 hours UTC, 2035 local time in Greece. Actually, Mr. Manousis tuned into Radio Romania International's News and Current Affairs channel, which is also at 1835 UTC. On air was a female speaker presenting an issue about pediatrics, interviewing a female named Maria and a male doctor, professor named Andreas. Here are some of the program details our Greek listener included in his message. We quote, the station's ID was given at 1845 hours UTC by a female speaker like Radio Romania Actualitati. It was followed by a Romanian rock song. At 1846 hours UTC, a female speaker talking about electricity and electric energy in general. A report by a female reporter was noticed. At 1850 hours UTC, once again, the ID of the station, just like before, and a short announcement by female, like presenting the next program, which is kind of a child radio fairy tale. Voices of cats, grandmothers, and so on were heard. The fairy tale was read by a male speaker. Mr. Nectarios uses a Texon PL660 receiver with a long wire 40 meter long at 8 meters above the ground antenna. If the reception report of your program was correct, I hope that you will send me your QSL verification card or your EQSL, which will do too. In case that you'll need more program details for the verification, please let me know so that I can get back to you in the future. Below you'll find a few technical details on my reception, which I hope it will be useful to your staff. It was really fun listening to your broadcast. I learn things for sure, that's the magic of the radio, and I definitely would like to hear you again in the future. Until then, best of 73s.
You are listening to Radio Romania International.
You with Radio Romania International, listeners' letterbox continues. A radio monitor of various radio stations on a voluntary basis, Siddhartha Bhattacharjee, living in the province of Kharagpur, the district of Pashkim Medinipur, West Bengal in India, tuned into our radio station on March the 7th, 2021, from 0400 to 0500 hours UTC on 11790 kHz. Here is what, among other things, Siddhartha wrote. We quote, "Be safe and fight against coronavirus. Hope all of your stuff there is safe. Now in our country going to unlock new normal to normalized human life to fight against coronavirus and already started vaccination program to the frontline staff," end of quote. Mr. Hans Werner Lollike, our good old friend living in Hedehusene, Denmark, tuned into our radio station on March the 9th, 2021 from 1200 to 1300 hours UTC on 13750 kHz. Mr. Lollike's SINPO rating for the signal of our broadcast was for all. In Mr. Lollike's message, program details is accompanied by a message we took the liberty to quote from, quote, "Greetings from Denmark. The calendar says spring, but reality is a very cold weather with frost at night and strong wind and rain during the day. We keep home anyway due to COVID-19 restrictions, is on at least until after Easter. Well, then it is time to listen to radio, of course. I have a small positive story to tell you. Denmark Radio, equivalent to Radio Romania, has a channel 2 with classical music. They have broadcast a 2-hour program about Romania, playing classical music with Romanian composers and artists. It was done in a very fine manner. I have written the editor with thanks. He wrote back that he was looking forward to visiting Romania, end of quote. Mr. Nasir Aziz, living in Sheikhupura, Pakistan, tuned into our radio station on March the 11th, 2021. Here is what Mr. Aziz wrote, we quote, "Hi, Radio Romania International's English service. I am fine, and I hope you all will be fine wherever you are. Right now, I'm listening to Radio Romania International's English service. The voice quality is excellent. Society Today and Visit Romania are on air. I'm waiting for the new contest. I'm sending you the audio reception in the next mail. I want to be the Radio Romania International's reception monitor in our area. Thank you." End of quote. Mr. Alan Holder of Cowes, Isle of Wight in England, tuned into a radio station on March the 11th, 2021, and here is what he wrote, we quote, "I must say how much I like the special feature program that you presented for March the 1st, Martișor, the beginning of spring. I was interested to learn about the custom of giving the tassels with red and white strings to people to wear, so that they may have good luck and health, a custom dating back to Roman times. The program also described other good luck symbols, such as the four-leaf clover, horseshoe and snowdrops. Thank you for this lovely and informative program. A previous traveler's guide described Harghita County. Plenty of interest to the visitor, including the salt mines, historical sites, spa resorts, the Crete Lake and Nature Reserve. Not forgetting the excellent cuisine in this mainly Hungarian-speaking region. Romania sure has a wealth of beautiful regions to tempt the foreign tourist with. That's all we had time for in this week's Listener's Letterbox. It has been a privilege for me to be able to read out your comments, suggestions and details on our programs. Stay tuned to Radio Romania International's broadcast, as there's more to come in terms of information, music and culture. I'm Eugen Nasta in Bucharest. Bye for now.